Hey All-Stars, happy Wednesday. It's Writing Wednesday. I've noticed a lot of you have really been working on all of your online work. Keep it up. We only have, I think, like 3 more weeks, including this week. It's all flying by, and then y'all will be 5th graders, and I will miss you. But I know that y'all are going to be amazing in 5th grade, and so let's just finish out the year strong. For connecting, let's do There Was an All-Star That Lived in a Shoe, okay? So, and I will act like, I don't know, there was an all-star who lived in a shoe. He had so many friends. He knew exactly what to do, remember? He he high-fived them, fist bumped them, and hugged them all day. You've got this, is what they say. Okay, and you can go ahead and repeat that, make up your moves. It's hard for me to remember our moves without seeing videos of y'all or like watching y'all create your own new ones. I miss that. So if you want to create moves to that, you can. For breathing today, let's do the pretzel. So let's put our hands like this. And I have my feet crossed. Let's breathe in through our nose and breathe out through your mouth. Let's breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Let's do it again. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Bless you. Our commitment this week is still to take ownership over your learning. This is perfect time for you to really build some independence, and I've seen a lot of you really taking on that. It's not easy doing things online. Like, we're made to be connected and be together, and so just persevere and really try your best, and that's all I can ask. And just keep doing it and know that I'm here for you. If you need to sign up for help, or if you just need to sign up so that you can talk to somebody besides your family, you can sign up for some reading conferences and definitely come to our social hour, or it ends up being 30 minutes usually, on Friday at 12, okay? All right, today's gonna be a quick one because it's gonna be a lot on you and a lot less on me, because I don't know all of your stories. I've seen a lot of them, but I obviously don't know your characters as well as you do, so it's gonna be more on you, and this is gonna be a really quick lesson, okay? So today we're gonna begin drafting, yay! We've done so much work on who our characters are, what they want, what's keeping them from getting there, and then last video we did our story arcs. And today we're gonna get to start drafting, okay? So the way we're gonna do that is, writers begin drafting by putting themselves in the main character's shoes. So, I think I read a quote once, and I'm not gonna do the quote, but the quote basically was saying, like, great writers, like, it's almost like their characters that they're writing about become their friends. Like, they know them really well. Like, they're in the story. The characters, like, when they finish writing, if they write series, when they finish writing the series, it's like they miss those characters because they become so involved when they're writing. They're not just passively writing, they actually feel like they're in the story, right? Because you're trying to make it realistic. So real emotions, real feelings, and the best way to do that is by putting yourself in the main character's shoes. And when you do that, you can figure out, okay, so if for me, you know, I'm looking at my story arc, because I always have these next to me, and I have my internal and external traits. So I know my main character, right? She loves school, she wants to do well in school, and I chose this story arc as my favorite, the one that I did with y'all last week. And so the big problem is that she fails a quiz. And so what I'm gonna do, because I also care about school, is I picture like what I would feel like if I failed a quiz. What would I be thinking? What would I be feeling? What would I say? What would I do? What would I be seeing? Would I be like blacking out? I'd be so upset, like crying, like laying in my bed. And so I use what I would do in the situation to make the character realistic, okay? So that's what you're gonna be doing this week. You're gonna start drafting your story. So you're gonna use your story arc. You can start in the very beginning if you want, or like sometimes I really struggle with like the beginning of my story because I've been doing a lot of writing for fun, and I just write bits and pieces, right? So if a part really stands out to me and I really feel like I can get into the character's shoes and write that scene, I'll just write that scene. So maybe I don't really want to start, like maybe the beginning, I'm kind of like, I need some time to process the beginning. So I'm going to start when she fails the quiz, and then I'll write what happens after, right? And like, what does she say to her family? Like, since I'm writing from the point of view of the main character, like, what is she saying? I'm going to use dialogue. I'm going to use what she sees, what she feels, what she smells, hears. Like, I'm trying to make it really realistic. So I'm really gonna take time with each scene. So after she fails the quiz, she cries and she gets like really angry. So I'm gonna go through a whole scene of that and I'm gonna spend time really getting into the character's shoes, okay? So usually what I do to do that is I'll like close my eyes and I just like picture it happening in my head. And then I start to just draft and write it out. Remember, a draft doesn't have to be perfect. And you're gonna do scene by scene. Maybe you wanna start at the beginning and you like have a really good opening scene that you wanna do. So go ahead and start writing it from the beginning and make sure you have a clear picture of where the story is going so you don't get lost in scenes. So I would start off with like them being quarantined, why, who is she with, what, like I would introduce all the characters and then I would move through these problems. Like I would have to, this would be a scene that I would write out when the Wi-Fi goes out. What does she say to her mom? What does she say to her dad? Does she yell at people? Does she cry? And so I'm gonna write that scene. I'm just gonna keep moving. And the way you make it realistic is you act like you're the character. You act like you're in the story so that it really, readers, when, you know, just like I tell you, you get lost in the story when you're reading. Like you should feel like you're in the story when you're reading. It's the same thing with writing. You should feel like you're in this story as you're writing it, okay? So that's what you're gonna be doing. The way that I do it, because sometimes like you get kind of fatigued or tired when you're writing and you just kind of need a break. So what I do is like, I do 30 minutes, but what I'm gonna ask you to do is for the next, however long it takes you to write your whole story, set a timer for 20 minutes. Sit down, look at your story arc, decide where you're gonna start. Are you gonna start at the beginning? Or are you gonna start with your climax? What are you gonna start with? And just begin writing for 20 minutes. That scene, the following scenes, really spend time knowing your character and like knowing, adding dialogue, adding feeling. And then after the 20 minutes, just stop. And then the next day, set a timer for 20 minutes, pick up maybe where you left off or pick up on a different scene, right? And so and then once you, hopefully by next Wednesday, you'll have the whole story drafted. And then we're gonna kind of go back through and we're gonna revise and do all this stuff. So for the next couple of days, just write for 20 minutes each day. If you don't feel like you can do 20 minutes, do 15. Start at 10, move up to 15, then move up to 20, okay? The thing that matters most is that you're putting yourself in the character's shoes, okay? So we're finally writing our stories, yay! And the way we're gonna do that is by becoming our characters and writing, how would you feel if this happened to you, right? And use real feelings. You've got this. I can't wait to read your stories. I've already read some of them and they're really coming together. Only a few more weeks of this. Persevere, persevere, persevere. I love you guys, bye.